Hello and welcome back. Today we are going to be continuing our Victoria run in Civilization 6. We are doing this in preparation for Civ 7 coming out, which it will be coming out on February 11th. We have been playing this playthrough, and last episode we really industrialized and started to sprawl out. We have a ton of cities. These cities are coming up extremely fast. We took these two cities, but our other cities that we've founded, some of them are reaching size 6 already, kind of just in the last episode for this type of stuff, largely off the back of having a ton of trade routes, a ton of money to buy a bunch of buildings as soon as we get them, and we're starting to see a little bit of a thing. You see, when the sun rises in the east and sets in the west, it travels across the globe, right? And we are starting to notice from Ziz all the way, we are just have no line of territory where the sun is not currently touching. In fact, the sun truly never sets on the British Empire, except for right here. This is the dark place. This is the dark place, and then we are going to be trying to, I think over the course of this episode, inhabit this island to some regard, or some extent regard. And also, we are looking forward to a Dainong, kind of eventually rebelling, because it is losing loyalty per turn, and flipping to our side. And maybe even after we reach that point, Saigon will tip as well. We are seeing that it is getting plus 8.9 per turn, so maybe it doesn't flip. We are currently, as things stand, embroiled in a war against the Ottomans here, which is kind of fine. We kind of want to end the war, but they do not want to turn over Halep without more of a fight. So I'm thinking that we will have to, in some sort of way, land them and force them to peace. We might go after some of their city-states. They only have Istanbul on the coast. We don't really want to capture Istanbul, but we do want to end the fight, so maybe that is the way we go about doing that. So we do end up winning the very long military emergency against us, having killed a lot of units, and I think that what we will do is we will see if, following this, if they are willing to accept some sort of peace that is reasonable. They're not, so we will need to in fact push them. So Suleiman is finally willing to come to the peace table after the turn had been passed, following the crisis, the military emergency ending. That's a no-gooder. We killed a Babylonian Empire spy in the city of London. We do have our only spy that we have built, currently counter-spying in London, so that makes sense. We did not accept peace. What do we have? We're going to upgrade you. We're definitely going to make it so that you are going to be... Alright, well, we'll do this just in case that comes in useful, but I think that what we are going to do is we are going to continue on just a little bit longer in our war against these guys here, even though we pieced out with Suleiman, because this is just too easy a city to take to just not take it. And I think that it doesn't occur us a lot of infamy, and so I think we're just going to go for it, and that this will be good for us. And also, we can buy a bunch of stuff in here, and then we can also recruit settlers out of here, or just buy settlers out of here. We are starting to have enormous sums of cash, and so we could kickstart development over in this region of the world. We definitely have our navy kind of operating all throughout the world, and it's starting to really feel like, we're executing like Great Britain proper in terms of the strategy. We have this, very, very strong center of trade. We are engaging in colonialism. We are industrializing. It's starting to feel really, really on theme for us with the Great Britain run here. Definitely expanding a little bit more. Going to be kind of hemming in Dido. I don't think that there's anyone who looks particularly strong, and the strongest is actually the guy we are fighting, but we do want to peace out and maybe play nice with other powers for some time, but this is the only guy who's remotely close to competing with us in one regard or another. We just barely passed him in science. He's been ahead of us the entire game, but we are really pulling ahead in culture relative to everyone else. So we are going to be able to very significantly reduce our energy needs by getting Cardiff as a suzerain, and also this will reveal enormous chunks of the map to us. And currently, no one's really kind of done anything with Cardiff. It's also something that we have mainly harbor districts and industrial sectors, and so to as much as possible, we want to get suzerainty over, you know, these industrial guys and these economic guys. And since we can get this for a nice little 3-ball here, we will go for this, and it will also reveal a big chunk of the map to us. Wow. We do see that the AI is struggling with the dark ages that have been created. Mari is being converted over here, but this reveals a bunch of, you know, kind of stuff to us on the map, which is great, because now we can trade with some of these cities even more than we could before in regard to Egypt. And so, big chunk of the map revealed. This is kind of the last of the Terra Incognita for us, but interesting to see how much they are struggling here with some of these things. And also, I mean, okay, this is going to flip, but we could have maybe had gone for this type of city here had we had known this is going on. Cardiff will be useful to us, though, also boosting all of our industrial zones. The Grand City of London has expanded, becoming our first 15-size city. We get public transport, or urbanization rather, completed. We have some, let's see if we have any cards in here that are going to be particularly good for us. I don't think so. The unit discount is going to be nice. The casino and the transit station are both going to be interesting. Is that transit station plus 0.1 to yield all yields for each citizen in the country, in the city? Yeah, some of these are really interesting for building super tall. Also, the neighborhood is going to be very useful for us. I don't think we necessarily need to change our policies here. I think that we have pretty good policies in currently. I mean, we currently are making good use of this, but we would like the card that increases the industrial district yield. Maybe we kind of rethink what we're doing here, though, and try and make a push for suffrage in particular, now that we have researched or gotten the Eureka on urbanization and gotten through this. I think we can just kind of make more of a line towards suffrage. I think we should be able to do this mobilization thing easy enough. We might have to buy some units, but that should be fine enough. I think we'll start with mass media, though, at least start researching it, and then we know we have to get radio as well. And radio, looks like we have pulled ahead on the technology here. Radio is going to be behind flight. I think we're going to take one more tick of refining, and then we will take a line towards radio, waiting to get the Eureka bonus. I'm not sure if this is in vanilla that it's been rebalanced. I remember getting battleships earlier. Maybe I'm just thinking of Brazil specifically, but this would be an inflection point where if we were not already really strong, that would represent something we could push towards in particular. But this is going to be good for us once we get this, especially the discovery of oil. Very excited about that. I'm curious to what extent we have oil offshore platforms. So that'll be a nice little unwrapping, unboxing around the holidays. Merry Christmas, everyone. Except for it's already Christmas been passed for you guys, but not for me. So we finish up the Venetian arsenal just kind of around when we're going to be going battleships. So we will build battleships probably on cooldown out of Liverpool once things get going, and look to be pretty aggressive about buying stuff in Liverpool. I think we'll build a workshop here. I think overall the manufacturing looked better, but then we did get Leonardo da Vinci, who turns the workshops into giving plus 2 production, plus 3 culture. A lot of our newer buildings, or our newer industrial zone buildings, are actually going to be the workshop ones. So I think we will put this in here and kind of prepare for longer term. We're probably going to end up buying stuff out of Liverpool because we can transmute their construction to be doubled from the Venetian arsenal, which every time we build a military naval unit, it will build 2 instead of 1. Da Nang has flipped our way. We are going to be keeping the city, of course, which will be fantastic for us. Wow, they have that's a very nice little defensive posturing spot. But now that this is flipped, let's take a look how the loyalty is here. We see that it's holding on strong. So it looks like Vietnam has sort of, equalized or stabilized in some regard, but us gaining a couple free cities off of them without having to do anything. Well, we did go to war with them for an extended period of time, which weakened them, which got them to the point of going into a dark age, so I guess we did do something, but this does feel pretty good. We are getting about ready to wrap up the war here. I don't think we're going to try and take this city and hold this city, but I think that we are thinking of taking the city for the purposes here. Let's start researching flight here. We are taking the city with the idea that we will get a little bit of a better peace deal here, something like this, but you know, be able to squeeze more gold out of them. I'm not sure that we could hold this in terms of loyalty perspective. I mean, we could go after Leventa as well, at which point we would be able to hold this, and then we would have a nice adjacency to Zanzibar, and there's maybe something there, but the pressure from Kish and Adab is just probably too much, but we're just looking to weaken them out a little bit. To that extent, we should actually probably just pillage stuff much more aggressively than we're doing right now, just to weaken them, as they are kind of the final threat, and we don't want to go in a long, protracted war against them, because these units are really obsolete. They have planes, we're using cannons. It's probably not ideal to stay here for too long. So we peel off one of the cities of Gilgamesh, and we're going to be going for a peace here. We're going to be returning one of the cities that we had taken. We're going to be keeping one of the cities we had taken, and we are going to be trading a bunch of gold in exchange for a few works of art. I think this will be good, and everyone remembers Romeo, Juliet, Frankenstein, the classic pairing. It was Frankenstein's monster, and then we will be able to finally be at peace and finally improve relations with people and bring our troops home. Except we won't really be bringing them home. Instead, we'll be sending them over here to deal with this island, raise candy, and get the land ready for the settling over here. They finally decided to settle down after an extended period of time. Looks like Geneva's having some problems. And so what we will be doing is we will be linking these guys together, and then we will be starting our first settlement, I think up here in the top left portion of this island, because that one is the only place without pressure of the places we had planned, and in this way we have very nearly full global smatterings across the map of everything. We don't really, I guess, have anything right here, but we are hoping that eventually at some point we can make a push down here. I'm not exactly sure if the population pressure applies enough. If we could settle here, and then maybe settle here, and then take this, and that this would be an avenue towards moving in. But also, the game might not last that long. It might not last long enough for us to, add another 5+ cities. We still need 3 more cities here, but we are expanding. The AI is not, and this is also a big portion of why we've pulled ahead. The AI is just absolutely crushing us on a per city basis, but we are really crushing them overall because we have way more cities. Although, let's check in with London, producing 634 gold a turn in London out of the 1700. So London is becoming less and less a crucial spot for our trade, or for our income relative to what we had before, where it was producing like half the money of our empire. Well, we didn't start this one. A joint formal war. How many people declared war on us? Oh no. Vietnam as well. Okay. Well, that is 2 people decking on us, and so we will be kind of flung into a defensive war where we have no one in position for this at this current point in time, other than actually having a decent amount of navy kind of in place. Oh, these guys weren't going for Geneva. We thought they were going for Geneva. They were going for Aziz. This is unfortunate. We will see exactly what happens in terms of who's in a dark age. It looks like Wilhelmina is in Vietnam. Gilgamesh. Gilgamesh being in there is pretty good for us, and Corvinus. Corvinus we would like to disappear entirely, so that would be fantastic for us. We get some age score already, but let's see, did anything flip down here? Looks like Saigon flipped. which works for us. We are going to have a lot of bombards in there, and we are going to have to somehow figure out how to best ready ourselves for the war. To be fair, we don't have to maneuver all of our troops over here. We have our navy, yeah, even our navy's really out of position here, but we can bring them over, particularly to over here, and almost all of her cities are on the coast, so things are going to look not terrible for us. We also can just start whacking ships, I suppose, here. And so I think that I'm trying to think where we should bring our ground troops. I think our ground troops, in general, these guys, we're probably going to move down here. I mean, us, Saigon going the other way is kind of good in terms of buffer for us. And they don't really have very good areas of ingress for us. They have, like, this city that's here. We have an encampment here, which we had just finished. Tons of mountains. This is, like, really not good territory to try and push into, so maybe we could just ignore them. And Dido only has a few cities. Maybe we just remove Dido from the map? If you remove him from the map, I think you just don't have any sort of grievances anymore, so this is a way of approaching it, because there's one city that's inland, and everything else is coastal. There's a ton of open land to kind of navigate-ish. There's still a lot of mountains here and there. We played on a setting that created a lot of wild kind of looking things, but I think that the fact that we could utilize our ironclads pretty effectively. Also, we have the Venetian Arsenal here in Liverpool, so we can start purchasing, any sort of military unit, any Navy military unit. In this case, I think we want to wait till battleships, but once we get battleships, we could just start purchasing out of here and use those to kind of go for the throat here if we just go for Tyre, or go for the northern portion where we can go and take a look at getting 2 cities. But I think we also lost some trade routes kind of that were going with them when this happened, but we're looking in pretty good shape, I think, for this war, given that we were not preparing for it. So Matthew Perry is going to be an insane, an absolutely insane admiral for us to pick up. That is going to be fantastic. We are going to probably look to send him to someone who is going to be one of these like Hunza type ones, either Hunza or Samarkand. I guess we already have a lot of kind of ones with Samarkand, so let's see where Hunza's at. We really want to send him to Hunza if we can. I think that he might have to get adjacent to them, in which case this doesn't work out, right? But if he can get near them, and that's all that matters, in order to activate him, then this is going to work out for us. Let's bring him over into the city center and teleport him closer to Hunza if we can, and we will... Okay, let's bring him into the city center, and then we'll teleport him over to Hunza. Looks like we have another chance. We can get a battleship with 1 free coal. I think we'll have this, but I'm not sure exactly if we want to utilize this as an admiral first. We're going to send this guy to Liverpool, which is producing some battleships, which is going to be good for us. We are starting to get a whole bunch of guys pumped out here in Leeds for builders. We probably should have been pushing builders a lot more aggressively before, but we are going to look to really improve a lot of the territory around where we are doing stuff. Ooh, and also grab that luxury. Although we can't work this tile with any of our cities, it is going to be nice for us to have a luxury. Saigon's going our way. We bought a bombard here, thinking that they were going to push, but then they kind of shifted back to Geneva. I think we're going to try and push over here, at least initially. We have a little bit of an extra unit we nabbed with our English Sea Dog here. I think we're going to send the Sea Dog on over to start harassing Dido up here, and this is going to be our area of ingress in the north. The Caravel, on the other hand, we will want to move towards here so that he can heal up and we can also do stuff. Now, we didn't discover much oil, except we discovered a lot of oil around here, but like just too far for like kind of reasonable ability to acquire unless we get really a ton of spread. So what we're going to do is we are going to take Rena, who has land acquisition, acquire new tiles faster. We're going to reassign Rena to Bad Tiberia. That way, we can try and get this place to expand faster, even though it's, I mean, like, this is kind of maybe a pipe dream. In fact, where do we... I don't even see Bad Tiberia. There they are. We will assign them here. And so, hopefully... we'll have to, like, build some sort of culture. We'll probably have to build culture, send culture trade routes specifically out of here. But securing this oil would be really, really nice. It's a shame that, like, it's... like, nowhere near, or not particularly close to us. We have these 2 ironclads. We had been kind of picking off these units just for experience before. I think we're just going to start coming this way, because I don't think they can ruin our trade route. And then here, this is a Corsair we had managed to take off of the Ottoman Empire, who've lost a Dab. That's no good for them. And currently, I think we're just going to keep scouting with them and not use them in the fight, because we would have to upgrade them for them to be particularly useful. These units are coming on over, gradually shifting to come over here. I think that we could just, like, put them on Plymouth. We do have railroads all throughout our territory, and now we are starting to expand them into here. We have some railroads. We have this place all railroaded up. If we zoom in, you can see the railroads. And now we are moving our military engineer, or we were moving our military engineer over here, but he was... oh, no, wait, he didn't get slain. They didn't slay him. Fantastic. So we're going to move him over to Manchester, and he will be able to start putting those things down. We are also excavating some artifacts, in particular. And what should we even put here? I don't know. Can we reseed the forest? We could reseed the forest and put down some production. I think we'll just choose to work that tile instead. These guys will come over here and start stealing artifacts, doing our best British impression, and we had a bunch of trade coming out of Bristol because we were trying to grow the population. Now I think we're going to move this on over to the place that we are trying to grow the boundaries of the territory. Here, let's see. It's not in Geneva, it's not in Ziz. Oh my god. UI, please. We just went around the world. The sun never sets on the Empire, but it is here that we wanted to move them, so we're going to transfer over to Bad Tiberia for the purposes of trying to expand them some more. In the report of the greatest cities of the industrial era, we only get 1 city in here, but we do get the most important slot, the #1 slot, where we are producing the absolute most culture possible. A large part of this is we are getting a lot of culture from our trade routes and the most gold per turn. We also have a few wonders, and we founded the great Crabbistry religion here. In terms of empire, we can see that London is still #1, Liverpool is #2, Venetian Arsenal and Great Lighthouse are really kind of pushing it up, and Plymouth is #3. For a lot of these, they are both in the top 20, both Liverpool and Plymouth. We can also check by wonders, and it looks like we can see who's kind of constructing the wonders. We are getting some of the more recent ones. It looks like some are owned by, yikes, rebels. And also, we can check each individual era, or even today. No, we don't have, this is our first time getting up there. Renaissance, we got the top 10. We hadn't made it before then. And then now we have the #1 spot. Looking to make it so we get a couple more of these as time goes on, especially as we start to pick off some more wonders. Although, to be fair, we have... most of our home area really doesn't have good terrain for producing a lot of these wonders, so there is that. Let's see what great person we can drum up. I think that we are going to pass on this engineer because we are going to probably try and build the Eiffel Tower, which will give us appeal anyways, and so we'll pass on that guy, at least for now. Well, this might be GG for Wilhelmina, considering her capital is rebelling in 5 turns, and Groningen is also rebelling. This is not looking good for her, but it's maybe a spot where we can pick up these cities after that happens, but I don't know about this. We wanted to use her as a trading partner, but she appears to be suffering under the weight of her dark age. You can see she only has 33 science and 38, kind of culture here. I think this might be the last of her 2 cities, and so things are not looking good. The armies are just kind of moving around and massing. We are starting to get a bunch of ships outside of here. I do think that it's going to be a little bit grim in terms of our chances of actually getting in on these because of just how much defense they have relative to the strength of our ironclads. So we might just have to sit tight and wait for a battleship. But we can just buy a battleship. So I think that's what we're going to do, is we're just going to buy a battleship out of here to help to expedite things. And because they have 3 attack range, they can sit outside the range of the city and just bombard it down. And then we can swoop in and save the day, bring culture, as it were, to the Phoenicians. Shout out to Carthage. So we have here what will be a perfect fleet. This guy's upgraded all the way with a rudder, helmsman, convoy, and creeping attack, and this guy is upgraded with a bolden, reinforced hull, and auxiliary ships. And so if we combine the two, if I'm not mistaken on how this works, they get all the upgrades. Big bad ironclad fleet with every single upgrade. Fantastic. I think we're going to send him to take care of this city, which has just cropped up, which is not going to be able to defend well enough against us. And then we will also, let's attach this gentleman here. That way we can use their combat power and have the ironclads here escort them through. We could go for Sidon. This would maybe make some sense, but I think that might be unnecessary. I think we see a lot of trade, kind of, or some of the trade that's happening over there. So I think we're going to work this Sea Dog back over there and try and have him mainly deal with the trade. These guys coming around, it's not really going to work for them. We are so far out, though, in terms of getting any troops over here, but it does seem to be the case that Saigon is actually providing pretty nice buffer for us, at least for the next 3 turns, after which it will flip our side. But we do have 1 bombard over there. We're getting some more over here, so they're coming along towards this war to be able to, actually do some stuff. How far is this battleship? Looks like we're a couple turns out. I think we might even be able to just go for Sidon without too much difficulty, and then push up the coast. Maybe this makes more sense now that we have a battleship on the case. We were going to go for radio in order to get a Eureka, but we're producing so much culture relative to our tech that I think we're going to not end up doing it like that, and I think we're just going to end up going for chemistry as well. We do want to get a couple more line infantry to get the Eureka for that, but we can purchase the line infantry, especially over here, because we have need of them over here. Where is the line infantry? I guess we cannot because of this. God, that makes sense. So we'll put him over here, and then we will purchase ourselves a line infantry to be able to go after them. I think this is our 2nd line infantry, so we just need to buy 1 more, and we might even end up buying 1 over here because we really don't have a lot of melee units anyways, and so that would be useful to us. So why don't we just come in here and just lock in the Eureka bonus now by buying another line infantry. And so replaceable parts, we got it, and so we are going to be off on a way. It looks like we can't even get into that yet. We need to build 2 banks. We have 2 neighborhoods coming in, so why don't we go for sanitation first? I could have sworn we had another spot with a bank. I guess this guy, we might just buy buildings in York, because we know that there is a commercial district there. We know we have at least 1 bank out, so I guess we'll build buyout through to a bank in York, and so that will be how we get the Eurekas over there. Let's take a look at our production in Preslav here. I'm not sure actually what we want to build here. We have energy, we have power as a result of having that 1 city-state that gives power. We could build the 3 Gorges Dam. This building looks incredibly strong. This is from a mod. It just provides a ton of power, renewable power everywhere. And so that seems pretty good. But I think we're going to try and maybe find a place, something to build here. because we will be getting a huge amount of adjacency, and I think that this is going to make a lot of sense to build a campus there. We are going to have the adjacency from the, government plaza, as well as 2 mountains, and so that'll feel pretty good for getting that here in Preslav. We get the first of our battleship production out of Liverpool here. We had tried just buying a building, or buying a ship rather, and that isn't how the Venetian arsenal works. It appears that we have to actually build the unit, and so here we are with our battleship. A little bit interesting idea of where exactly we're supposed to send them. If we're supposed to send them up through the northern passage, I think this is probably correct. I'm not sure if we're supposed to merge these 2 battleships, but we could form a fleet out of these 2, which will be fine enough. And then we will immediately turn around and build another battleship. The idea being that these are worth 2 instead of 1. But let's see if we can purchase ourselves a factory in order to help facilitate this and make this go by faster. And let's see if there's anything else we can purchase here in Liverpool that will help things out. I think we already have coverage on the coal power. I don't think we are crimped on the housing, so we don't really need a sewer. So I think that'll be good, except for let's produce a trader. No. We founded this city here, and we had already purchased for ourselves the ability to build another trade route by buying the building that gives a trade route access. But I think we'll just build a trader here. Not exactly sure how we're going to get this trader out, because we can't go through any of this territory, but that'll be a solution or something we'll have to figure out later. We do have the Sea Dog here. We're probably just going to keep the Sea Dog here to fight off the barbarians, and then on a later turn buy a unit that can actually push out from here, maybe a cavalry unit, something that we can upgrade to a tank later, and look to clear out this entire area. There's still even a goodie hut right there for us to collect. Unfortunately, we only discovered 1 source of oil that we can make use of, and that is this one here, but we do finally get it into production, so we will start being able to get oil per turn, and also be able to upgrade some of the artillery units we have. So, hoping to see these guys. Now, unfortunately, it only requires 1 oil to upgrade. Perfect. I was thinking it required multiple oil, like 30 oil to upgrade. Just 1 is kind of okay, but we can't really pay the maintenance on a lot of this with just the income of oil we have currently. Really wish we had more supply of oil. Candy we might have to sack just so that we can, attach the oil over here. I think that that's the most straightforward oil source that we can get, unfortunately. But that's was kind of the plan to begin with, so that's probably what we'll be doing after we deal with Dido. Saigon has rebelled, which precipitates kind of our advance here. We were waiting for Saigon to get pushed out. That way we could take... Why is this guy still there? Alright, fair enough. That way we would be able to push in. I think we're going to go for a Hualu next. I think we have a balloon coming in. We have built a balloon. Where did our balloon go? Did our balloon get nabbed? Our balloon might have gotten nabbed. It might have gotten popped. But we are going to kind of bring everything in, and I think we're going to go for a Hualu, because this is going to be the spot where we have to deal with the fewest amount of these. We're just going to get the bombards in place. I think that we can make a core out of some of them, but we're going to make sure we upgrade them first. This will be the very first one we upgrade. Requires 2 oil, that makes sense. Or should we wait? We're actually going to wait, and the reason we're going to wait is because next time we can slot in the card that will give us discounts on guys. That way we can use it on the artillery, giving us a discount on the amount of gold we will be paying. And so the offensive here begins. As they kind of edge a little bit too close to us, we will get our first licks in here. We will be able to shoot with all of our stuff. And we do have the balloon. We found our balloon, which is allowing us to have an additional range, which is going to be great because we will be able to bombard Hualu from outside the range, by which they can do anything about it. This is like one of kind of the breakpoints where the AI starts not really being able to defend very, very well. When you are able to outrange their cities, you can kind of start to abuse them in a lot of spots. We are building railways here. We also are building railways over here, kind of connecting everything along the coast here. I think that once that railway guy is done, well, actually, we'll probably connect all these cities here, because that's a rather large job. And then we are also advancing on Sidon. Now, they can't bombard us anyways, so it's not a big deal, but we can just from outside of their range just repeatedly bombard them until they get very, very low. And so this is probably going to be roughly the strategy we end up taking. We didn't upgrade this guy yet, but we will just be able to probably heal up with these guys and take this next turn, or it looks like we might be able to take this turn, and take Sidon. We will keep the city for now. Looks like it will rebel eventually, but what we will do is we will send over, we will Red Rover, send over, I think Reyna, because Reyna is not critically important. She is helping that expand faster, but she's not doing anything too specific, whereas everyone else is kind of doing something specific, and with Reyna there, it will take some time for this to rebel, except for if we have a monument. I don't think it will rebel, and then we will also buy a granary there, and of course the trade dock wharf so that we can get another trade route, and then the trader to go along with it. Up here, our battleship has just gotten in range, it looks like, where we can do stuff. I think we're just going to start bombarding the city here, and we are going to be able to start whittling down the defenses. Now, that's a lot of defenses from them, and that will take quite a while, and maybe there's something else we could do instead. We also get a nice little capture there. That's the reason why we haven't upgraded the Sea Dogs to submarines, is because they can capture units if they win in a fight, and so we can send this guy back somewhere in order to receive an upgrade up to being an ironclad, merge him with the other ironclads, probably with this ironclad to make a mega fleet, which is going to be useful for us, but we will just get to salt. Oh man, the fortification only took 5 damage. That place is so heavily fortified, holy hell. This place isn't though, so I don't think, hopefully this place isn't as well as Kitty is. I'm not really sure. 300 seems like so much. In terms of, I mean, I guess we could get just another battleship, and then that'll be fine, and turn this into a armada instead of a fleet. But if not for that, the progress here is going to be a lot slower than I had anticipated. Maybe this is rebalanced in the mod? I kind of don't think so, because our mod wasn't supposed to rebalance units. We will have more battleships coming out soon, though, and we can keep pressing them up, into this region. Byblos specifically is going to be the hardest one to take, but I think that we'll meet in the middle, and we'll still be able to bombard Byblos from a couple of these spots, because these 3 spots are all 3 away from Byblos, as well as this spot here. So there's 4 spots we can bombard Byblos from the sea in terms of expanding into there. And if we take a look at, kind of the military thing, we have 1,200 military, and we have 500 here, and then 380 on Dido, and that is if they are going to use their units intelligently, which of course we know they're probably not. Well, the good old World Congress has decided that we deserve to get the business. Oh, and Gilgamesh and Suleiman joined the war, and now we have what appears to be something that's actually resembling close. In terms of, we have a lot of different fronts to fight on. I suppose we don't have a land base with anywhere over here. So that maybe puts us in a little bit of a better position, kind of to deal with these guys. But look at all this. They have so many units over here. This is going to be grim. They're going to eat a ton of our trade routes in various spots, because we have kind of mobilized all of the Navy to move in a different direction. I think what we're going to do is we need this guy to stop playing babysitter. So we're going to recruit a cavalry. And then this guy will start coming through. Surely we're not fighting them now. No. This guy will start coming through down to here to raid this back end from the Sumeria. And we will need more navy to deal with Istanbul over here, or at least it'll be easier to catch them with our navy than it will be to try and like stave off their army once they land. But this has added a whole nother layer of pain to this. Although, to be fair, we do have Hammurabi and Cleopatra on our side. Now as both being allies. They're not in the war with us, but this means that we don't have to worry about this region. And largely, all of our trade kind of comes through here. Although, have they been gobbling up our trade? I didn't even notice this guy here. Shoot. We will have to recruit something to deal with that, like, next turn. I mean, we could wait on the battleships. The battleships could come in through here and deal with this, but I think we just recruit something to deal with it, or buy something to deal with it next turn. I didn't even notice this guy in the back line here, which is, like, all of our best trade routes come through here, and so protecting this corridor is pretty important. I suppose we probably should have just perma-parked a piece of navy here so that they could never get through, something like this, but things have gotten a little bit interesting. We could recruit from these guys a sub, but it won't appear where we want it, which is over here. I think we're going to buy out of Donghoi next turn. We get some new cards to play with as a result of researching a new civic, getting economic union for commercial hub and harbor district adjacency bonuses, and also getting campus and industrial zones. So this is hopefully going to help to pump our science up quite a bit, which is going to in turn help us to be able to win this war from a technological advantage. And also, it looks like they are doing the good courtesy of actually just running in range of any one of our kind of bombards that we have in Donghoi, Da Nang, and also this here. So we've nabbed 2 naval units from Vietnam, so maybe not as important. This bombard, it's a little bit sketchy kind of having it out like this. Actually, it's a little bit sketchy kind of having it out like this, isn't it? So I think what we're going to do is we're going to bring these guys back here. And then we were planning on making an army with this guy because it is a fully upgraded unit. But it's... we're having a little bit of an awkward time of things because we want to keep an infantry of some kind in front so that we don't get wrecked. But... you know what it's going to be? It's going to be we're going to have to park this guy in Saigon and then shoot this down, and then following that, shoot this down, because we have a total of 4 range with this guy, as long as we're by the balloon, which is a whole lot of range to be having. I think we're going to park this guy here, and then this guy here, though, so that they can defend. We're also moving our navy around so that we are going to be having all the units kind of on this one area here instead of mixing and matching them. Yeah, we are moving these guys down to push over here instead of having some in some spot and some in another and trying to push both places simultaneously. We just don't do it fast enough, so I think we're going to play it like this. Ooh, settler. We'll put that guy in wait for the settler, and then we will upgrade our battleship. We sunk our battleship, and then I think we're going to take this one because we're planning on unifying it with this guy who is using the other track. Or sorry, this guy who's using the other track. But we are going to keep bombarding, in particular, this city, and look to get this one down, because I think it's easier for us to push up the coast than it is for us to kind of just navally drop in from one spot. And we, with the balloon, can bombard this even more. So it'll be a little bit slow going, but progress will be made slowly but surely. I think that we'll put this infantryman here so that he can deal with stuff, and then we might as well nip this here and plunder this. He's going to take some damage, but he should be fine. I think the victory we might end up going for might be a culture victory, and if we do that, we want to leverage our gold and turn it into culture. That way we could kind of take off. So I think what we're going to start doing is we are going to start being a little bit more aggressive about acquiring various works of art and this type of thing. Heroic relic we can certainly acquire. product? Can we ship a product? But looks like not a lot of stuff, or actually it's more that people don't really want to sell us stuff because we're the bad boy. But we can pull a lot of these works. We are making 20k a turn, playing 20k or 20 a turn for a lot of turns in order to acquire various works of writing. Is not going to be a big deal at all. And so we will continue to do this and also try and position them somewhat strategically. Like Nottingham does have a bonus for displaying some of these items with one of the cities. The things it's gotten with like the Museum of Arts, or it holds great works of art. I think there was the next one it's working on is this, the Opera House, +1 culture for each great work. So stacking a bunch of great works in Nottingham specifically is going to be something we're interested in as we try and convert our gold advantage into a different sort of advantage here. We've been holding this Santa Cruz great person for a while. Creates an armada out of a military unit, which is going to be great for us with this level 1 battleship, and so we will be able to continue to knock this place down very, very, very slowly. Very slow, but very, very safe. There's not much they can do to interfere with what we're doing, and so we're just going to be able to keep on keeping on here. As we, the fleets, we have too much ironclad fleets out and about for them to really be able to contest navally. Most of their ships are sunk. We don't really see any, and we have pretty good vision on what's going on around, although I don't think the ironclads can see the underwater guys. I'm not 100% sure. I think that the destroyers can, but ironclads might not be able to. But also, we did want to point out a sad, sad day for the Netherlands. They have perished. Notably, we could resurrect them and look to return Amsterdam, but we see some very, very sweet nectar that is such that maybe this is not the course for us. Maybe we will let them perish. And also, we're starting to set our kind of set our sights on victory to some degree here. And so if we pull up the world rankings, I believe, is that where we have the victory thing? I'm not sure which victory is going to be easiest for us. Probably either science or culture, or, well, to be fair, domination might be relatively easy. But diplomatic victory, we have to keep in mind the potential of losing to this. Although if we completely take out Vietnam, then we don't have to worry about a diplomatic victory. So there is that. Also, we figured out why this city didn't flip. It's because the Statue of Liberty is right here, which makes it so that they are fully loyal and will not flip. Nice little wonder. Although once we take Thang Long, expecting to see the entirety of this collapse, you know, kind of one little snippet at a time. But I think we're going to conclude the episode here. It has been quite a bit of advancement on our part, and quite a bit of treachery from our opponents, because we haven't declared any wars. Instead, we've gotten declared on in 2 spots. First, we got declared on, you know, the alliance between Vietnam and Carthage, I mean Phoenicia, you know, Carthage Light. And then, again, we got declared on by the kind of alliance between Sumer and the Ottoman Empire. Although, to be fair, these guys, I was a little bit concerned when they decked us, but honestly, like, they each have like 4 or 5 cities and that's it. And their cities are generally going to be a little bit better than ours because the AI is getting bonuses on Immortal, but it's not enough to really overcome how hard we sprawled last episode and are continuing to sprawl. We also nabbed a settler here, and we just have too much production and too much everything. Also, we know how to tactically navigate things so that we don't really lose units, but they do. They've lost a couple units kind of trying to come in here, where there's really not a point of ingress for them to make progress in, and so they've sent a couple units in and they've just kind of gotten whacked. This is one of the problems with Civilization in general, I think, is that by adding the tactics overlay, where all the soldiers are in different spots, you make it so that the AI needs more artificial bonuses in order to keep up with you, the player, because you can outmaneuver troops relative to them. And if you didn't have this, then it wouldn't be the case. We have Eiffel Tower in 1 turn too, so that's going to be nice. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe. You know, do the YouTube algorithm thing. And other than that, have a good one.